You know that feeling, right? The lights flicker, and then everything just goes dark. And right away, the questions start flooding your mind. How long is the food in the fridge going to last? How am I going to keep my phone charged? Most of us have, some flashlights, maybe a few candles. But what about real power? Turns out, most of us are dangerously unprepared for serious outage. Yeah, when you think blackout kit, this is probably what comes to mind. A couple of flashlights, some candles, a stash of bottled water. I mean, it's the standard advice we've all heard for years. But really think about it. In a world where our lives run on electronics, is this actually enough to get by? Well, here's the hard truth. The moment you need actual usable power, these common kits, they just don't cut it. Sure, they give you light, but they don't give you the electricity that keeps our modern world spinning. Okay, so let's really dive into this and see why that typical advice falls so short. So first up, we're going to break down why this old school approach isn't just kind of outdated, it can be downright unsafe. And we're not just talking about running out of batteries for a flashlight. We're talking about ignoring real risks like fire and equipment damage that come from, well, a basic misunderstanding of how this stuff works. This slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you have what everybody shows you, flashlights, maybe a generic power station, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. What's dangerously missing, what's below the surface, are the details that actually matter. Like, how long will it even last? Is it wired safely? Can it even power what you need it to? That's the stuff that makes all the difference. And believe me, these aren't just minor details. Overloading an inverter isn't like blowing a breaker in your house. It can literally start a fire. Using the wrong kind of battery or forgetting to put a simple fuse on your circuits, that can destroy your equipment or worse. These details are the thin line between having a reliable power source and having a serious hazard in your home. So how do we fix this whole mess? Well, it all starts with a shift in thinking. We need to stop just buying things and start understanding our needs. This next part is all about building that solid foundation, and it begins by figuring out what you actually need to power. Okay, before you even think about buying a single piece of equipment, you have to know your load. It sounds technical, but it's super simple. It's just the total amount of power, measured in watts, that your essential devices need to run. Seriously, this one calculation is the most important step in this entire process. Let's walk through a quick example. Let's say you need to keep 4 LED lights on and charge your phone. Okay, that's a continuous load of about 55 watts. Pretty manageable. But wait, look at the fridge. When it kicks on, it has a startup surge of 600 watts. That's a huge spike. We have to plan for both that steady, continuous draw and those brief high-power surges. So once you know your load, then you can figure out your runtime. This tells you exactly how many hours your battery system can keep everything running. It's the simple but absolutely critical link between the power you need and the battery you're going to choose. All right, now we get to the good stuff, the heart of the entire kit. We're talking about the battery and the inverter. These two things have to work together perfectly to give you safe, reliable power. And choosing the right ones for your specific needs, well, that's everything. When it comes to batteries, you've basically got two main choices. Lead acid is the old school, cheaper tech, but Life FOP4, that's lithium iron phosphate, is the modern standard for a ton of good reasons. It's way safer, it lasts for thousands more charge cycles, and it's so much lighter. For a portable emergency kit, honestly, those advantages make it the clear winner. And if you want to know why it's the clear winner, just look at this number, 80%. This brilliantly shows off one of Life PO4's biggest superpowers, its depth of discharge. In plain English, that means you can safely use 80% of its power without hurting the battery. With a lead-acid battery, you can only use about 50%. So you get way more usable energy from a Life PO4 battery of the exact same size. Next up, the inverter. Think of it like a translator. Its whole job is to take the direct current, or DC power, from your battery and convert it into the alternating current, or AC power, that all your regular appliances use. Getting the size right here is totally non-negotiable, both for safety and for making sure it actually works. Okay, so your inverter has two numbers you have to look at. The continuous rating needs to be higher than your everyday load, so in our example, more than 55 watts. The surge rating has to be big enough to handle that massive startup spike from the fridge motor, so over 600 watts. And here's the big one, always get a pure sine wave inverter. It makes clean, stable power just like what you get from a wall outlet, which is absolutely crucial for protecting your sensitive electronics like laptops and phones from getting fried. Phew, okay, we've covered a lot of the why. Now let's get into the how. We're going to put it all together.
Building this kit is actually a really straightforward process, as long as you follow the right steps and, most importantly, you put safety first. You can think of this as your roadmap to doing it right. You start by figuring out your devices, then you calculate that load we talked about, and then you pick your battery and inverter based on those numbers. But hang on, pay extra attention to step 5, planning for fuses. This is the safety net. This is what protects everything from short circuits and overheating. After that, put it all together with good ventilation and you're good to go. I really can't stress this enough. Every single positive wire coming off your battery needs its own fuse. Don't even think about trying to power something big with a tiny inverter. Look, safety isn't an optional extra. It has to be baked into your system right from the very beginning.
By going through this process, you're doing something really powerful. You're shifting from being kind of passive and underprepared to being active, educated, and in control of your own power and safety when an emergency hits.
And that's really the big takeaway here, isn't it? A truly great emergency blackout kit is not some box you just buy off a shelf. It's a custom power system that you've thought about and designed specifically for your essential needs. It's turning knowledge into actual resilience. So I'm just going to leave you with this one question to chew on. When the power does go out, is your emergency kit just going to be a collection of things sitting on a shelf? Or is it going to be the lifeline that keeps your essential world running? With the right planning, you can make damn sure it's the latter.